So in looking at these three areas of your business, it's about determining in this overall mix, what is the single biggest point that is limiting the growth of your business? What's the bottleneck? What is the choke point? Because that single point, if you can eliminate that and focus your energy with a white heat focus and eliminate that one step, will make the single biggest impact to growing your business to its next stage. And then once you eliminate that point, what will then happen is the next growth limiting step will identify itself. And if you're paying attention and watching it, you will then have the next growth limiting step to focus on and address. And if you then eliminate that, the business will then leap forward again until you hit the next growth limiting step. Eliminate that, it'll leap forward again. And this is the most efficient and effective way of growing your business in its maximum speed and efficiency to its greatest potential in the marketplace. Now, when you are looking within these areas as a business owner, you're going to find generally that your growth limiting step is going to be set in two areas. It's going to be either time or it's leverage. Let me give you an example. You might find that servicing clients is the most important use of your time. And your limitation may be that in your administration area, you are doing too many tasks yourself. So too much of your precious time is going into low dollar productive activities. So if that is the case, going in and eliminating those low dollar productive activities, either through automation, through systems and processes, or delegation, is the single most important thing you can do. Equally, you might find that the limit that you've got is in servicing clients. And so if you've got a one-on-one model of servicing clients, you might find that you're restricted in the greatest delegation of, or the greatest potential growth of your business, because you are the choke point. Everything comes through to you. So you may well find that if you're building a profit model business, which is built around you and the most effective use of your time, building an offering that has group training, or that has an online learning component facilitated with your one-on-one time, greatly increases that capacity within the business. So that might be your greatest choke point. Okay? If you're building a legacy business that you're planning on ultimately selling some or all of it at some point down the track, you may find that having a process to train coaches up and having a systematic way of having many coaches come through the training goes and just blows that bottleneck right out of the water. Now, in getting new clients on board, you may find that your bottleneck is not enough leads coming through the process. Or you might find that your bottleneck is spending too much time talking to people that aren't suitably qualified yet to use your products or services. So eliminating that bottleneck could be around making sure you've got a better lead flow coming in, and that you automate parts of your sales funnel so that by the time somebody gets to talk to you, they're either converted completely online or through your sales process, or they've gone through a number of hoops to self-select, so you're talking to your premium quality potential clients. And that might go the biggest way towards eliminating that bottleneck if that actually is the case. So what you'll usually find again is that the bottleneck will usually be a mix of your time. So your time is too restricted, and changing that component around is will go long ways towards improving that bottleneck. Or getting rid of your time out of non-productive areas, things that can effectively delegate away to somebody else and focus your time in the highest value areas. Or you might find it's around leverage. And leverage basically is if you're just doing, it's kind of like driving your car in first gear. You can rev up really high, but the car only reaches a certain speed. Your leverage is changing into another gear so it can do a lot more. So for example, the leverage at the front end could be increasing your lead flow that comes into the front of your business, but what they actually come into is what we call a lead magnet, or a free gift, or a video series, instead of coming straight to a phone call or a phone inquiry to you. That's an example of improving your leverage. Going from one-to-one services to group services is an example of improving your leverage, because now with the same hour of your time, you could service 10, 20, 100 or more people. Does that make sense? Okay. So what is the process to go through here? And let me grab a blue pen for this. So the process is as follows. The first is to identify. Okay? Identify. Not all choke points are equal. When you're looking through your business, what you're going to see is that there will be many areas that you can look at and say, hey, this is a bottleneck in my business. But what is the number one bottleneck? So going through and identify, is it lead flow of new clients? Is it that you're already at capacity servicing clients and you actually can't handle any more clients right now? Or is it that your administration tasks, you're doing too much and that's just choking up more and more and more of your time, leaving less time to do the most productive areas? What is the number one bottleneck or growth limiting step within your business? First is to identify it. Second, I'll just change pens here. The second then is to look to see if you can automate it. Okay. Can you make that step go away through automation, through systems, processes, software, online modules that are auto-delivering? What are the things you can do to automate? And then the other areas, what can you delegate? Okay. What can you delegate? What can you give to somebody else who will run that process, ideally better than you because it's in their area of genius and at a lower cost than you, okay, than having your time spent there. And if you go through that process of identifying the choke point, looking at how you could automate it or delegate it, and you systematically do the first one, focus in, fix it, check it's done, then move to the next one, then move to the next one, you will systematically grow your business in the most efficient way that you potentially can. So here's a way you can bring that into your daily method of operation. And here's a suggested thing, something that we actually like to do. And that is pick one a month. Okay? Pick one rate limiting step in a month. We'll often look at it in 3-month cycles. So we'll kind of review this once every 3 months and pick 3 to be done over the course of that month. Pick one in that month, put some focus, time and energy to fix it, to actually make sure you have solved the rate limiting step. Check it's done, then move to the next, then move to the next, then move to the next. And I can tell you now, if you do that over 12 months and you've picked the 12 major choke points in your business, you won't recognize your business over the course of that period of time by focusing on the growth limiting steps. So over to you. What is your number one rate limiting step? Where are you spending your time on things you shouldn't be doing, or where haven't you got leverage working effectively in your business? Identify your rate limiting step and watch your growth go north like a homesick angel.